Good afternoon. This is Sam Vaughan for Sam Sports Report. The Bills will play the Chiefs. And then let's get it started. AFC Championship for the 7th year in a row. It'll be quarterback Patrick Mahomes, who's led him to 7 consecutive championship games. Running back Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco. Kareem Hunt should get the majority of the carries, in my opinion. Wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver Xavier Worthy, wide receiver Hollywood Brown. Kick returning Nico Remio. Justin Ross was activated off the team roster. It may spell an end to Nicole Hardman's career. He made a significant play in the Super Bowl and won prime time to come up with a catch in a Super Bowl. He was picked out of the second round and from Georgia. You wouldn't have to consider his career great, but he made one of the biggest catches for the Chiefs ever to win a Super Bowl. He made sure the Chiefs had a conversation about having the three-peat. Tight end Travis Kelce, it really helps when he plays well. He needs to get open over the middle. Joe Tooney, Mike Caliendo, center Creed Humphrey, right guard Trey Smith, right tackle Jawan Taylor. Now for the defense. Left defensive end George Karlaftis, Charles Omenihu will get in there. Tayshawn Wharton, Mike Pennell will get in there. Chris Jones, Mike Dana, Ndika Nzama played really well this last week. Drew Tankwell, Nick Bolton, and the middle linebacker. Drew Tranquill's a linebacker. Mike Dana is a right defensive end. At Jalen Watson, who has came up big in returning last week from his injury, which he was hurt most of the season. Jalen Watson comes in sometimes. Joshua Williams comes in sometimes. Justin Reed and Jaden Hicks will help out at the safety position. At the free safety, it's Brian Cook. And as I said, a right cornerback, Trent McDuffie. Starters for the special teams, kicker, punter, long snapper, kick returner, punt returner we already went over, but just so we can make sure we have him. Kicker Harrison Butker, punter Matt Ariza, long snaps him James Winchester, who's won 3 Super Bowls, one of the few. Kick returner Nico Remio. Punt returner Nico Remio. Shamija Perine plays a big key on third downs and also a big key on special teams. They laid a quarterback spy on Patrick Mahomes last time. That seemed to work. The Bills did. Well, let's go over the Chiefs players that have won 3 Super Bowls with the Chiefs. They're trying to get their third in a row, but remember they won 1 than 3 out of 5 years. Patrick in 2019. Patrick Mahomes is, of course, one of them. Travis Kelce is another. Harrison Butker is another. Chris Jones and James Winchester is the long snapper that you don't think about. Now let's go on to the team who is 3-1 in regular season play, but he's 0-3 in the postseason, and this is a postseason game. Josh Allen is versus Patrick Mahomes, but Josh Allen does tend to play well no matter what game he's in, really, but he played well in all the games that he's played the Chiefs. He just hasn't played better than Patrick Mahomes. The Bills got a real shot, obviously. The Bills and Chiefs, this is pretty much an even game. Hopefully, since the Chiefs are home, And they put a spy on Josh Allen, whoever you choose to do that with, Drew Tranquil, Leo Chanel. I may do it with Leo Chanel. You can also do it with Nick Bolton. Maybe with Nick Bolton, I don't know. I might do it with Dustin Reed, I don't know, but then you don't have much of coverage back there, so that's a problem. Running back James Cook, that was one of the differences between the Chiefs and the Bills. They have a great running back that can get you 10 yards right away. Pacheco was one of those backs, but he hasn't been since he's come back from injury this season. And Kareem Hunt just gets what he gets, which is good enough sometimes, because sometimes he gets 4 yards and sometimes Pacheco gets 1. The Chiefs, and what available is for Hunt is what he's going to get. Pacheco sometimes creates too much time rating. But then to back to the running back James Cook, he's very good. He's got to be a player that she's got to key on. Also, wide receiver Keel Shakir, he needs to come up for the Bills. He is definitely an unrated receiver. Dawson Knox, tight end, he's also underrated. Ed Oliver, you got to watch out for him. He's a big guy coming at the quarterback. Jordan Poyer, one of the best at his position, 3-time All-Pro. Von Miller doesn't make the plays he used to make, but he's 35 years old and made a big impact last week. Matt Milano, little middle linebacker, he's what the Bills signed up for when they traded him right before the regular season. DeMar Hamilton, he almost had cardiac arrest. It's amazing he's on the football field. We'll see him today. Tyler Rapp is out today. Cole Bishop will play for him. Christian Badford is questionable. Chiefs look to go back to back. 3 times to win Super Bowls. Before they win that game, they've got to win the Bills game. The Chiefs are a normal 3-point favorites at home. This is going to be a battle. Chiefs are favored by 2.5. The Chiefs need to bring their A game. Kickers at 5:30. First, we'll see the Eagles and Commanders. Eagles will be without a healthy Jalen Hurts. Running back Saquon Barkley maybe should get a lot of carries. MVP over 2,000 yards. Maybe he would have beat that, but it'll put an asterisk to it as he would have tried to break Yale Sayers' record, who had more than 2,000 yards by a lot. And maybe he could have broken that, but points mute now. Wide receiver A.J. Brown. Tight end Dallas Goedert. Tackle Lane Johnson. Best right tackles in football. Defense C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Best safeties in football. Darius Slay. Also very talented in the backfield. Also very talented at the defensive tackle spot. Defensive tackle Jalen Carter. Josh Sweat at the linebacker position. The Eagles have one of the most talented teams spot to spot. Eagles, that's why the Eagles coach gets so much scrutiny and so much against him. Eagles and Commanders. The Eagles can stay together. They maybe should win. But the best sports rookie in history will be Jaden Daniels, will be someone the Eagles have to deal with. Brian Robinson Jr., former Alabama Roll Tide. Wide receiver Trey McClain is also a big player. Tight end Zach Ertz, who won a Super Bowl in 2018, is also important for the Eagles. Another one of those that wants to get back at the Eagles. Vaughan will be without Dewan Payne. Sheldon Day will be played player to rely on for the injured player. He has also been injured playing. Sheldon Day has. He hopes to come up big. Jonathan Allen, one of the best defensive players in the country, in the game. Jermaine Unston is an underrated player. Bobby Wagner, the 34-year-old veteran. Dwante Fowler, commander, have to share what they one last shot to win the Super Bowl or another. Marshawn Lattimore isn't used to, but you'll never know what he come up with. He might come up with his first interception. The Eagles are favored by 6. I'm leaning towards the Eagles. I picked the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl against the Bills. Now I've changed it back to the Chiefs. I changed it to the Super Bowl to go to the Bills. Yeah. Now I changed it back to the Chiefs. Then I changed it back to the Bills at one time. Again, now I'm changing it back to the Chiefs. I don't know. It's hard to get the fandom out of me for the Chiefs. My prediction of my favorite team. Again, though, Eagles by 6. Kickoff at 2 on Fox. Chiefs kickoff 5:30. Now let's slip in to college basketball. Kansas led at the half 38-31, but the Houston Cougars came out 7 points better in the second half to force overtime. But the Hawks responded at the 6-point and Houston lead with only 15 seconds to go in the first overtime. But the Cougars rung the bell as Emmanuel Sharp hit the 3 to tie it to force overtime. And they hit another 3 on the way. Juwan Roberts, who only averages 11, got 24 last night. In the second overtime, Houston took over. Juwan Roberts, who only averages 11 points, he came up big last night with 24. Banglo Florigo got 19. He fouled out in the second overtime. KU falls again at home, 92-86. Mizzou led by 7 against Ole Miss and could never really get back into the game. They cut it as close as 5. In the second half, the Tigers closed it with 8. Mizzou had some big threes from Caleb Grill. He was hitting them, man. When he's hitting them, he's hitting them. He finished with 25. 6 of 10 from 3. Tamar Bates was also very good. He had 26 of the 51 that Caleb Grill had. Tamar Bates had 26, and Caleb Grill had 25. That counted for 51 of the 83 Missouri points. Missouri wins 83-75. They have the most wins in the nation at home, 15. This season, and they're 15-0. Kansas State, who struggled all season, just came up with a big win. A victory over West Virginia. Number 23. Kansas State showed me, well, we may have to talk about them a little longer. Kansas State wins in a blowout fashion, 73-60. Kansas State just got their second victory in conference win yesterday. That's Sam Vaughan Sports. So we'll talk Chiefs first, I guess, or
okay. I think most people are not wanting another Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl. I think people are rooting against that.
I don't know. I'll probably root for the Eagles, but
yeah, I'm really excited for the AFC game, Buffalo and Kansas City. Another matchup between those two, and Chiefs own them in the playoffs, so we'll see what happens.
Who do you want to win the Super Bowl?
And Mahomes, I think, has realized that he can bend the rules maybe a little bit to get that advantage, but most quarterbacks do. I mean, you see Josh Allen; he cries for a flag anytime somebody touches him too. So it's the quarterbacks, I think, are I don't know if they're taught, but they realize now that they get the benefit of the whistle more often than not. So they try and encourage the refs to throw one when they have the opportunity. I would not want to be a defensive player right now. I mean, you look at Mahomes and some of these other quarterbacks, they're running full speed, and then the last minute they slide. And as a defender, you're not going to be able to stop if you're running full speed and that quarterback just goes down right in front of you. It's almost impossible to stop your momentum from hitting them. So that's I don't know how the league's going to address that, but it just puts the defense in a no-win situation at that point.
What do you think? So, what do you think about the AFC Championship?
I gotta like the Chiefs. I mean, they know how to win these big games, and they don't lose at home in the hardly ever, and even in the playoffs for sure. I mean, they seem to have Buffalo's number. I think Josh Allen, he's been incredible this year, but he's going to have probably his best game of the year, which is hard to say considering how many great games he's had. But I think he'd have to play his best game of the year for them to win in Kansas City, and the Chiefs probably would have to make a few mistakes that would be uncharacteristic for them, for the Bills to win that game. So I like Kansas City. I think they're on certainly I know Buffalo has a lot of incentive to try and get back to the Super Bowl, get over that Kansas City hump. But hey, the Chiefs have a lot of incentive. I mean, trying to be the first team to win 3 Super Bowls in a row. And I like the Chiefs. It should be a great game. It should be a fun game, as they always are, it seems like, between those two teams. So
I think it will be so close.
Yeah, I think so. It could come down to who has the ball last, as it often does when they play each other. So, but I just can't bet against Mahomes and the Chiefs. I mean, he may have a bad 3 quarters, but that fourth quarter he finds a way to get the job done. And he and Kelsey, always seems to make the big catch. Andy Reid always draws up the perfect play. So they're just hard to beat.
To see us get a little better running game, I don't know. They haven't had that for a while.
Yeah, Pacheco's injury this year kind of hurt him, but I know he's back now, but it's if they got a running game going against Buffalo, it's lights out. I don't see the Bills hanging in there if they can run the ball consistently and allow Mahomes to just throw when he wants to in advantageous situations. So if they got a running game going with everything else, I don't see Buffalo hanging with them.